My dad was a citrus farmer, and so I grew up in the ag space. I like the people, I like the culture, I like being outside. I like the variables. So you never know what's going to happen today with weather or crop pricing or labor issues or whatever. But it was an entertaining or attractive business for me to get into. I had an opportunity. This company got into the avocado business, I would say about 1978, 80, somewhere, or 1978, 79. And they'd hired this guy out of retirement to run this avocado business. And my family's been from Ventura County since 1857, so we know a lot of the old families that have the avocado land and orchards and whatnot. So I was helping him with referrals. In 1980, this guy retired. They brought him out of retirement, and he re-retired, and they asked me if I would come over and run this business. When I took it over, I said, look, we've got a huge opportunity here. Consumption's growing, supply's growing, and we're competing against a co-op who has 80% market share. This is a license to steal right here. Let's do it. And I gave them a business plan where I wanted to break this deal off as a separate business unit. I'm going to run it, and I'm going to own part of it. And I'm not looking for anything for free, but this is what I want to do. And they said, no. I said, well, okay, but don't be surprised if I pop up across the street. They went, right, kid, get out of here. So that's when the wheel started rolling to start Mission Produce. So me and another guy put a business plan together. We hired this unemployed CPA to do the math and the business plan, and went out and sold this idea to growers, California growers, large California growers, mainly in the north here, a couple of them down in the Temecula area, and raised $900,000 and got started on June 1st of 1983. You know, back then the per capita consumption was less than 2 pounds here in the United States. Today it's 9. And several things made that happen. One was the border opening up. 2 was the money that we spend on nutrition and research to find out what's in the avocado. Years ago, it was rumored to have cholesterol in it. It doesn't have any cholesterol in it. It's got monounsaturated fat, a lot of fiber and potassium, so it's very healthy for you. And then the third thing is we were the first ones to sell ripe fruit at retail. So we did trials on this for several months, and we would put the boxes out for the crew to take them home, and they might have been hard and they might have been ripe, and they always took the ripe ones. I said, why don't you take the other ones? They said, we'll get those next week. So why don't we try this at retail, see what happens? I said, you're crazy, they're not going to try this. So I went down to the local Ralph's down there on, I think it was on Channel Islands Boulevard or Pleasant Valley in Oxnard there, and walked in, talked to the produce manager, and I said, I want to do a test on selling ripes. He goes, no, it'll be a disaster. Look at this big stack here, and they're cheap. And I said, no, we're not going to make a big stack. We're going to make a little stack, and they're going to be ripe. And I said, you keep the money. I'll pay you to do this, and I'll even clean it up myself if there's a problem. So I took 10 boxes down there on a Friday morning, and I helped him make this display, and right next to the hard green ones that were stacked up real high, and we're going to price them higher than those. He says, you're crazy. I said, you have to be in this business. Let's try it, see what happens. Don't worry, and if it's a mess, I'll clean it up. So I come back on Monday, and there were oranges sitting there, and I immediately flared up. I said, what the hell happened? He says, well, I sold out by noon on Saturday, and those are still there. I had to put something here. So Ralph's is obviously a local chain owned by Kroger, so we got a hold of Ralph's LA, and they'd already heard about it because I guess somebody had called. And they went on a program. They said, we'll give you a ripe program for a year in all the Ralph stores. Fair enough. Their sales went up 300% in 1 year. So now we're starting to scramble for more supply. Right after that, we called Kroger, who I was on the board of the Produce Marketing Association at the time and sat with the head guy of Kroger, who was a good friend of mine. I said, Reggie, did you see those numbers at Ralph's? He says, I did. I've been meaning to call you. Let me make this really simple. You build them, I'll fill them. What? Nationwide. That was really how the avocado revolution started. We kind of used the mentality of don't be afraid to lose. Try new things. Do it bigger, better, faster. Everything's going to be improved. First one there wins, generally. Unless you keep run off a cliff, which we've had to back up a few times. Whoa, what's that?